Word on the streets, it's BowlzNBeatz. What's good, everybody, and welcome back. It's your girl X, and joining us today is the infamous store owner of Ghostdrops. Let's give a warm welcome to Mike, aka Hasho. How you feeling?
Am I the only guest that clapped for myself?
Probably.
All right, well,
but all good. Sometimes you just gotta clap for yourself.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So how you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here. I know you have a lot to say about the cannabis industry, so I'm excited to have you on here. I'm just going to get straight into it.
Okay.
So obviously you are, I'm going to just say it straight up, you're a legacy. Like the actual term for that, you are, okay? So you've seen it go from being completely black market to now legal. What is that like? What has that whole process been like for you?
Oh, insanity.
Good way to
Okay,
describe
let me start
it.
by saying this. Congratulations.
Thank you for what?
Well, this is dope.
Thanks.
And you're like 11 years old and shit, so that's fucking...
No pun
that's
intended.
amazing.
It is
No,
dope.
that's amazing. And
Thank you.
And rest in peace to Pat's Day.
Yes,
Stop
yes. Rest in peace to Pat's Day. If you guys don't know, he is the rap battle legend.
And a father and an
Yes.
amazing human being.
Yes. Nothing but good stuff from that guy.
Damn. Legacy to legal, huh? The first transition.
Yes.
It's fucking crazy.
You guys were the first ones to do it.
Yeah, I think I was literally the first. I don't know what they called legacy crossover. Like my
Yeah.
first title that I ever held in the industry was a subject matter expert for Supreme Cannabis and 7 Acres. Shout out John Fowler. It's a great title to invent. But yeah, it was a weird time because there came a time in the black market where like everybody that had like a brand was being offered something or courted somehow by people you've just never been in contact with, or you find yourself in boardrooms talking to people who are looking at you like you're speaking a different language. It was a really weird time, but it was an incredible time. It was bound to happen. It's an incredible thing that it happened.
Yes.
And I think to sum up a really long answer, rest in peace to what was our generation of prohibition, and where a lot of people cut their teeth and learn how to run businesses and learn how to do things with their hands, and people had skills and talents and created mentors, and it was an amazing time. But like now I can pay taxes.
Yay.
And my family can...
It's more
I'm
stable.
gonna be careful with what I say. 3 fingers. Be careful with what I say. But no. I really want to keep it to the positive because, like, what are you gonna do? Be a 42-year-old dude flipping packs still?
On the legal side, it's safe, right?
Shit.
Yeah. But I actually like that you brought that up because a lot of people who are running cannabis brands right now have never even smoked or don't know anything about cannabis, and it shows through their product. Like, being someone who actually does smoke and been smoking for years, when I get weed from the dispensary, I'm just like, where's Ghostdrops? Like, you can really tell the difference in quality.
I mean, okay, so watch. But you can do that in any industry across the board.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, it may be a little bit expensive right now compared to what we're used to.
Of course.
But there's definitely weed on the market, in the legal market, that is comparable to the more accessible black market weed, unless you're that 1%er who knows that 1%er. But the most accessible high-end weed on the black market, there's that in the legal market. Not the same price, tested clean, etc.
You get what you pay for. Right? You get what you pay for. And
So yes, it's
like
filled
you
with
said,
a bunch of garbage.
yeah, like you said, I think because people are so used to like the black market days, they see these prices and they're like, what the fuck is this? But it's the legal price. Right?
Tell the government not to collect tax. Tell the government not to put such an exaggerated tax on what we do. Tell the government to make it accessible and make their little piece. How many times can we say that? I feel like an idiot just repeating that because, yeah, that's the perfect world. If they took...
They took us seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like right now, it's a drug that they have to control until they have. And look, they need that 5-10 years of data to be like, look, nobody's overdosed. maybe we should lighten up restrictions.
We already have that, but let's pretend we don't, right?
Let's pretend.
I mean, now that it's legal, it's like a fresh slate.
Yeah, I can
like let's
pretend.
give you guys 5 years now to catch up, right? Were you born and raised here?
I was born and raised here, but since I was 19 till 27, 28, I worked in the skateboard industry as a rep.
Oh.
And so I traveled to like San Diego, La Jolla, and different parts of like not the U.S., California specifically, like twice a year. And then you make friends and you go back. And
so
now
California
my nephew lives
was where
there.
you tried it for the first time?
That's where I tried rosin for the first time. So I'd always smoked hash and weed. And then that same dude, like in the skateboard industry, it's amazing because you just have these friends all over the world. Like it's just like I used to call it a hood pass, or like if you had a skateboard, you can get out of any situation because everybody was like, oh, he's just a skater. Let him. He can't be doing anything wrong. He's not affiliated to anybody.
Yeah.
And like, it never more important than when you're there. So like when you're there, especially as a kid, you have to be with somebody from that certain area, or like what are the chances you're hanging out in Beverly Hills skateboarding? Yeah. Not usually.
So where did your name Hasho come from?
Jeez. This is the worst story.
Oh God, those are usually the best.
It's the best, but it's the worst. So I had a really bad drug problem.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't do drugs. So until I was like 32, I'd never done anything but smoked weed and done mushrooms. And I mean like done mushrooms, not I didn't do them. I just had done them. Never done acid, like nothing. And like I'm 42, so I grew up in the generation of like, what? You've never done anything? Nah. Never did anything. Loved sports and skateboarding. Was really just good at sports and skateboarding until like I wasn't anymore because everybody just got bigger and excelled, But anyways, met the wrong people. Was a tough time in my life. Was a big transition time. I was a pussy. I fucking ruined myself. Luckily, I have the greatest family and wife in the world, and they were like, yo, we're just going to go through this together, but look, you're getting help. You're going to rehab.
You know what? I love that you just said you were a pussy for doing it. Yeah. A lot of the times you get called a pussy for not doing it. So let's just clear that
I
up.
was a super pussy. I took the easy way out. What were we saying in the car before?
Exactly.
The only thing that saved me is that nobody's ever going to be able to be a bigger critic of me than me. So when I went to rehab, like I looked at rehab the way I looked at everything else. I was like, I'm going to be the best at rehab. They're going to give me a fucking rehab award. I'm winning like the gold medal of rehab. And I did. Like I stayed an extra 4 weeks. I took like an extended program. Like I really like won rehab. And then when I came out, I used to have a company named Faro Farms. And it was like, I think like one of the first like bag companies.
Yeah, I feel like anybody who really knows weed, like, probably knows it.
Especially if you're going to use the word legacy ever, and you grew up in Toronto, I hope you don't say, like, what's Faro Farms? But anyway, so Faro Farms started because, like, I had this on my arm, and I was like, I'm Egyptian, and I was at one point in my life, I was like, what do I do? I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Went into rehab. Somebody took it over, blah, blah, blah. And when I came out, I was like, damn, I had a coke problem. I almost did this, I almost did that. And then like Chapo died around that time, and I felt like that was unfair. I was like, why'd they have to kill him? And I just sat there one day and I was like, look, I just make better hash than everybody. Straight up. I just do.
That's cool.
I'm El Hasho.
No.
And then I just changed my Instagram because I didn't have an Instagram the whole time I was in rehab.
Yeah.
When I came out, I was like, El Hasho. It just happened, and kind of based on
suits.
Cocaine and
what
I went through.
Congrats. You did it. Yeah. Honestly, that's really hard to get out of.
Oh, it sucked.
It's fucking hard.
It sucked. I'm not going to lie.
And shout out your family for being that support system, because that's hard as well on them.
Yeah,
Do
shout
you
out my
find that
wife.
Cannabis has helped you like stay away? Because personally, it's helped me stay away from alcohol and harder drugs. I just find like people always say it's the gateway, but I feel like it's the opposite.
Cannabis?
It's the opposite.
Oh, no.
It's the gateway out of it.
You want to know what I do every time? Like, you're an addict for life. So, like, when I have those moments or like whatever, I just smoke so much weed, and by the time you're done, like your second blunt, that urge or idea or whatever you had of like, should I call this person? It's been a rough month, blah blah blah. you're just too hungry and tired by the end of that second. And I'm serious, like
Those are the side effects.
it's
of
that
weed, guys.
hard though.
Ew.
Like you have it for life.
I know.
It's a disease you have for life.
Absolutely.
You're in remission or whatever the fuck you call it. Like you're in that forever. So yeah, smoke a ton of weed. I don't care what they tell you at rehab. They told us not to take Advil, blah blah blah, and I didn't, but that's because I never did. And I hate alcohol. I never drank, so it was never like a trigger for me. I was just super sad, and cocaine wasn't like
it's a pick me up.
A very pussy way out. It's a very pussy way out of your problems, and then they come crushing down on you like an hour later. So, anyways, but yeah, it's fucked up.
Wow, that's actually really interesting. That it helps me as well, like stay away from things.
I shouldn't say you're a loser for doing that because I did it for 2 years.
You're just an addict. That's it.
And it's fucked.
Yeah. And honestly, I find it interesting that they tell you guys like not to smoke weed, not to take Advil. It just goes to show that it depends on your body, right? Like some people get triggered by weed. Some people don't get triggered, right? Like personally, me, it helps me like ground myself and remember like what the fuck's important and what's not. Yeah.
Yo, sometimes when I'm really mad, that's all I need. And it's sometimes super hard to take yourself out of the moment, even though you know the answer and you're like, yo, just go smoke right now. And then your mouth is like, no, I'm finishing this argument.
Yes.
And really what you should do is go in your car, smoke, and I promise, 9 times out of 10, by the time you're ready to put that out, you're like, yo, what was I about to be so fucking mad about? I can't do this right now. I'm too high. And even if
you remember, you're just like,
you're like, I'm too high. I don't want to have this argument right now. Yeah, 100%.
Or you're just like more chill about it.
Yeah.
Like, instead of yelling, you're just like, hey, man, that wasn't cool.
See, I only really argue with my wife these days. I'm not about to argue with any male.
Speaking of your wife, does she smoke as well?
Yeah. Okay. Only one strain.
Oh.
Only one strain. And she has the access to all of the strains.
How come?
She just like made it years ago, like she was just like, I don't really fuck with this anymore. And I'm like, well, it's what I do for a living. And she's like, yeah, it's cool. But like, you're cool if I don't want it. I'm like, yeah. Fast forward a little while. My wife has MS, and that's, long story short, started working for a company named Bull Rider. And Bull Rider's company is based on a strain named Bull Rider. And it's got this mythical like lore around it about what it specifically does for multiple sclerosis. Oh. So through working for Bull Rider, shout out Ryan Pinsky, you know why, I met Max Zavit, Lauren Greenberg, and Noah. And Noah is famously known as like a OVO 40.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have known that. OVO 40, yeah.
It's like his baby. It's like his passion project. And until like I was given it and was like smoked it and was like, what the fuck just happened to me? Like halfway through, I'm like, what? Why do I need to sit down right now? Like what's going on? It smells like a lemon haze, or I shouldn't say that, it's more complex, but it's not something you're going to look at and be like, this is insane. Yeah. What the fuck? And it was such a couch lock, and I brought it home to Sarah. And then it's crazy because you go on all these like MS websites or forums on Facebook or whatever, and they all talk about it. And she had posted it, like, look what my husband got at work on Facebook, and it got like hundreds of comments. Like, how did he get it? Where did he get it? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, can you get more? And I'm like, no, it was given to me by a guy. I'm not calling that guy. Like, what are you talking? I just, And it's just the most amazing like thing that happens. You just have to try it. And it's one of those things that's like not about the hype, not about the look. It's probably never going to make anybody any money. It's just this beautiful anomaly that God gave us that for some reason, the entourage effect of that strain, and it just helps. So
I like that you brought that up, because a lot of people who are against weed or have had bad experiences with weed, a lot of the times people who are advocates with cannabis will say it depends on the strain, and they're like, no, it doesn't. You're just saying that, and I'm like, no, it really does. Like, I am not a sativa person personally. Like, I'm already very anxious, so I'm like, keep that shit away from me. I want some indica, just chill out,
I can smoke it all day, heavy indica all day, and just fully maintain not looking or feeling high.
Even medically, like you were just saying, like, right, that helps with your wife's MS. Can
we
talk
talk
about that for a bit?
Absolutely, go ahead.
So for people that don't know, what is MS? Because it's very rare.
Okay, so I'm going to do my best. It's a
Yeah.
neurological disease. You can, and I'm without exaggeration, you can like wake up blind. You can wake up paralyzed. You can wake up any one of those things and more. And there's no, like, we know a million times more about cancer, cancer prevention, cancer treatment, cancer fighting than multiple sclerosis. So she was one of the unlucky ones that woke up and was all of those things. She, couldn't keep her head up, etc. Led her to being rushed to the hospital and spending the better part of 8 months in St. Mike's ICU in Toronto. So that's, Sarah Soldiers was born in I've been walking on the MS walk since I met her. So like 20 years. And then around like the time of Instagram starting, so 2010, 2011, we started Sarah Soldiers and we're donating, and I was making clothes and whatever, and people were fucking with it, and it was amazing. And by 2014, we'd like registered the charity. We were with the Multiple Sclerosis Society. We were raising serious amounts of money. Like this year, we worked with High North Labs, Rick and the boys there. Like, oh man, shout out everybody at High North Labs, all the girls, all the boys. I cannot do names right now because I'm a little bit too high. But Steph, John, Rick, everybody. I'm going to let them announce it. But so this, shout out Ghostdrops too. Like, shout out Ghostdrops for a lot of things. But they came heavy for this golf tournament too and put a lot into it. And we raised a good number for Sarah Soldiers.
Awesome.
But I want to let them announce it. So it's a good number.
That's good. So when did your wife start feeling these symptoms? Was this recently, or was it like
since
for
we
years?
met.
Oh,
So
okay.
like
what are the symptoms?
it started when we were young. It was like really bad, like anxiety and like different like physical symptoms, etc. And then as we got older, I think it was 08, 09 when I was sitting like at a restaurant in Toronto called Taroni's.
Oh, shout out to Ronnie.
Yeah, shout out to Taroni's. Sick.
So good.
Anyways, and I got a phone call and it was her, and the whole thing, like you're sitting at a bar and you get this tragic information. And then that's pretty much when we were like, we're gonna do something for MS. It was like in 09.
But how did she know? Like
She had been tested and tested and tested.
Oh, okay.
And her aunt, her dad's sister, Rosalie, had passed away really suddenly of MS at like 44 years old. So here's what's fucked up. So my wife has it. Her dad's sister passed away of it. Her dad's sister's husband, her first cousin, has it.
Holy
Her
shit.
aunt has it. And Sarah has it.
What the fuck?
All in her family.
So this is genetic.
Fuck, I wish I could say that, but I'm
Wow.
legit the dumbest dude in the room.
Wow, that's
There's only 2
crazy.
dudes in the room, so it's a
That's
50%
interesting.
chance.
It's either genetic or like an environmental factor. That's very interesting.
Hand to God, I don't know.
But it's
I
too
tell
rare.
you.
They don't have much information on it yet.
They're not sharing it with me if they know.
Okay. So how is she okay now? Is she getting better? Does she feel good?
She's home.
She's home. When did she leave the ICU?
She went in July, January 24th of 21 and came out like in August. I might be butchering
okay.
those days by a
Yeah,
few days,
yeah.
but like fucking
And you're a father, correct?
of 2.
Of 2. Hey, shout out that. So what was it like through that process, being a single father? Honestly, like I'm all about bigging up the girls all the time, all my episodes, but
Well,
let's give
thank
a round
God
of
I'm not a
applause for all the
single
good
father.
fathers, honestly.
Thank God I'm not a single father.
Yeah.
Because thank God I'm not a single father. Because at that time when she went in, I had a 3-week-old
Wow.
and a 3.5-year-old or a 3-year-old,
shit.
right?
So
Because
she
we're
had
going
just
into
given
January
birth
20,
and then went to the ICU.
like 2 weeks later.
Wow. Shout out Sarah, girl. You're a fucking hero.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. That's like a superhero.
And that's crazy because like my in-laws had moved from Maple. I live in a town like north, like near Barrie and whatever. So they moved from Maple 2 streets behind us. And it's not like a cheap neighborhood. It's not like I don't live in like some fancy shit, but it's not like a cheap neighborhood.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy transition, right? And I was always like, people are always like, oh, doesn't that suck? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, like I was raised by my grandparents, legit, every day. like nothing means more to me than having family around, and I'm the person that can set a boundary super easy. I could be the best dude in the world, or I could be the coldest, most rude motherfucker. It just depends on you.
Exactly.
It's 100% on you.
Yes, I'm the same.
1,000,000%. Nobody's
Yes.
ever meant this more than me. It's all on you how our relationship goes.
Yes. So, because of what happened with your wife, is that what caused you to want to get involved with Ghostdrops and like kind of go like, you know, legal?
So basically, the transition to Ghostdrops was right around the time that she was like getting out and starting to do better, and we decided to do an MS walk.
Okay.
Travis and I had known each other for so long, and he's like, dude, you got to meet my partners. Like, they fuck with you hard. They love what you're doing with Sarah. Just come by the office. And coming by the office then led to like them making this big donation, and then coming to the walk and supporting the walk heavily. And I was like, nobody's ever really done that for us. It's always been, you know, like kind of us versus the world.
Yeah.
So to have like that
Family.
Yeah, it was dope. And then like the merge was super simple. Like the store was doing well. We were getting a lot of attention. What better brand in Canada? Like they're our first legacy brand, right?
Yes.
Like shout out Cookies. They're dope as
But they come from America first, though, no?
dope though. Listen,
They're not Canadian.
not 100%, but when we're just talking brands,
Yes.
like there was definitely that like U.S. Russia, like who's getting to the moon type thing, like who's gonna hold power, and like there's a bunch of dope brands.
Yeah.
Big, Carmel,
Yeah. Yeah.
Organic Craft.
Yes.
There's a lot of dope brands. I could name them forever. We don't have a lot of time, but there's a lot of dope brands. But I feel like Ghostdrops got to the moon first, and they were smart the way they positioned themselves.
Yes.
Like they captured that rush from the black market. Like they rode away, and that takes fucking talent, you know. And shout out Ghostdrops for everything they've done. And then through that merger, they're like, dude, you know, like we'd love to release a line, and here we are.
So for anybody who might be in your position that's like, I want to get into the legal side of cannabis, but I don't really know like how to start or what to expect. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, don't. I'm telling you, you know how somebody's dead serious and everybody thinks they're laughing? It's don't
He's
do
like,
it.
no, it's hell.
fucking. Okay, so you have two roads. You either invest a lot of money, your own money, to back yourself, believe in yourself, carry yourself, pay for your product, carry the excise stamp, like
how
get
much
it
money
into
are we
market.
talking?
Oh my God. So like if you get $1 million of product ordered, let's say we start a BowlzNBeatz
Okay.
weed bags.
Cool.
OCS orders a $1 million PO. You have to complete that PO and then carry that for 90 days. And in that 90 days minimum, now prep and release another. You're always behind, right?
Okay.
So you either do that, or now you're signing like maybe a licensing deal. So like a Hasho.
Yeah.
If you sign a licensing deal, you're getting X percentage of sales, but they carry every cost, so, you know.
So like how much percent would you say you're getting in profit? Yeah, he's like, I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
I guess it depends, right?
A licensing deal at like 8%, 10%, I've never heard of.
Wow.
I've never heard of. Again,
That's high?
I've not been in every boardroom.
That's high.
High. That's unheard of.
Wow.
Unheard of.
That's wild.
When you're bringing no money to the table, just your pretty face
That's
and
crazy.
your story of what you can do. Lucky I can actually do something. Lucky my
Yeah,
resume's 14 years long. Lucky.
Exactly.
No luck behind any of that, but
Wow,
lucky.
that's crazy. The reason I ask is because I'm noticing the new generation, obviously, they're growing up in a different time where it's legal, it's normal to them. So everybody wants to do it.
Oh,
They
everybody
see
thinks I'm a
everybody
millionaire.
like making it, and they're like, oh, I can do it.
Making it.
Exactly. Let's talk about that.
Who's making it?
Exactly.
You guys are lucky you're not privy to the actual
Exactly.
numbers.
Like we see people like starting up that look at ghost shops and they're like, damn, they made it. I want to be like them. But
They haven't made
it's
shit.
so hard. They,
They
don't
haven't made
understand how much
shit.
fucking work it
They
is.
made so Ghostdrops. Here's the thing you need to know about Ghostdrops. Ghostdrops made it before you even knew who they were.
Facts.
There's a whole generation
That's
of
so
people
true.
right now who
I was
know who
already ordering off
Ghostdrops.
them.
Exactly.
That's why when I saw you guys come out, I was like, holy shit.
People keep saying, "How did they do it?" What do you mean?
yeah.
You want to know why you don't know? Because you just fucking got here. Welcome to the party.
Yes. Mic drop.
That's why you don't know shit.
Very true.
That's super easy. That's the
Very
easiest
true.
question I'll answer on a podcast.
Yes.
That's just because they're a fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
you got to build your fan base, right?
You think they just came in overnight and did a bunch of fucking cool imagery and told a story and people gave them a pass?
Yes.
I mean, I wish, bro.
This is years of work, guys.
Dude, that drop, that initial, like, how did they do that? How could they sell that many? Who orders? How could the province order that much? Bro, the demand was insane.
Yeah.
If they didn't fill that, they would have fucked up.
That's
Gene,
true.
the CEO, should have been fired. But they did what they did.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, they won. Yeah, that's the easiest question because they already won.
Interesting.
Yeah. They did all the work previously, like, unknowingly, like, genuinely. And then, like, one day a door opened up. They were like, yo, like, this would be fucking dumb for us not to do.
Exactly.
And I agree.
Yeah. And speaking of
thank
the
the
door
fuck God they
opening,
did.
let's talk about your strain.
Hell
that
yeah,
you just
thank
came
you.
out with. You
Hell yeah.
guys, if you haven't checked it out already, go check out Hasho's strain. Obviously available at Ghostdrops, all dispensaries. You already know the vibe.
Hell yeah.
I'm not even just saying this like
It's
because you're
good.
my guest. This shit's good.
It's good.
I knew it was gonna be good because I'm like, he obviously
good.
knows what he's doing, but
Grown
this
by a
is
black market dude.
good. Like, being someone who smokes, like, not just because I like to get high, but because, like, it makes me feel physically better. Like, it gave me the feeling I wanted. Like, I wasn't in pain. I was like, I was good.
I get the same thing all the time. Yo, dude, it's so good, but like it's so
Yes.
expensive. I'm like, bro, I have no control over that.
You know what
I
you
would
pay
love
for.
to sit here and tell you like blah blah blah, and I'll give you a little hint at the end. But I like once we get it to a certain point, the government just takes over and says, okay, this is what it's going to sell for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to break down all the numbers and blow people up. Like, it's not my place. But like, Ghostdrops did not price it at $60. They don't have that control. Literally don't have that control. They don't have that say, and they don't want to do that. I literally don't have that control. Once I sign saying you guys can use my name and here's my involvement, and I'm bringing my homie from the black market who grew this strain like forever, and I washed it forever, and I'm going to give him a platform through your platform. You got to remember, like, their whole thing is like put people on. Put good people in good places.
Yeah.
That's really what Ghostdrops does. They're not a cultivator. I get it. Say what you want. Okay?
It's true.
Like,
It's
what are you
true.
going to say now? Oh, they don't even grow. All right, bet. Next.
No, we sell.
Cool. Cool. But, like, you did nothing compared to what we did in the black market, Steven. What's up?
So I actually want to talk about this process a little bit more too. How did you like come up with this strain? How did you make your own strain?
I knew Contractor for years in the black market, and he'd been growing this
Who
cut
produced
of
it?
Contractor.
Oh,
at,
okay.
Contractor's cut, and I think the facility's called Mill Creek,
Oh, okay.
and it's in Cambridge. And so he came over, and then when Ghostdrops approached me on like, yo, let's do a line. Do you know anybody with any flower that you'd like to run? Do you have any genetics you'd like to put in market? I was like, yo, I do have genetics I'd like to put in market. Let's put that on pause. There's this dude, Contractor, who's working over here, and he's fire. And I know that it's fire because it's a strain that came over. And they saw it. We all saw it, and it was game on from that moment.
So
and
you
then
just like smoked it and like decided
I'd
what you
already
liked?
knew. Yeah.
Oh,
So then
okay.
I'd already knew what I wanted. He put in, like, we went and saw the facility, checked out a couple other strains, decided on the GMO. He did a test batch. We were like, it's great, but. So he changed up the length of grow. He changed up a couple things and ended up with this. And let me address the bag. At the time that we had to put this out, it had been so long and COVID had screwed up so much shit with shipping that getting a glass jar at that time was legitimately impossible.
Okay.
And the way the province buys, you only have a couple opportunities a year. If you keep passing it up, you might just close your window.
Yeah.
And then it was supposed to be out on the 25th of July, and the OCS got hacked. And it sat for 5 extra weeks in a sales period while it was on the OCS buy sheet. Like,
That's crazy.
we faced every obstacle and still got here. So, again, shout out Ghostdrops.
Yeah, I think that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
honestly, I like that you brought that up because when I saw this, I actually thought the same thing because you guys always have glass jars. I was like, where's the glass jar? I was like, are they not doing that anymore? Like, is it an environmental thing? Like,
No.
but it doesn't matter because, I mean,
It's
the
a
quality
timing
of the
thing.
strain speaks for
It's
itself.
a timing thing.
You don't even think about the glass jar after smoking this. So, I mean, that's all that matters. And you speak about that you guys had to go through a lot of obstacles. Like, what kind of obstacles did you have to overcome that you weren't expecting from the legal market?
I think I think it's just a lot more of a process to get things to market. They have to go through so many checks. Like, does the logo pass whatever inspection? Does the THC symbol? Getting things excised, where it's going to come out of, who's going to release it, who's going to be the distributor, where's the sales license. Like, it's a long process. That's why when you asked before, like, what advice would you give somebody getting in?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's so.
Especially right now, I feel like it's a kind of like a gray market. Like, it's legal, but it's not really fully legal because we can't even market it the way you should be able to market it.
Well, Vancouver has direct delivery now. So
really?
now in
Shout out
Vancouver, yes, always shout out Vancouver.
Interesting.
Vancouver's where the culture starts, and Toronto's like the Bay Street. Where the money, they're like the lead, you know?
Interesting.
And like they have direct delivery now where like I can produce this and I can say like I only want to make 500 of these and I only want to sell them to BowlzNBeatz. Okay. You get all 500. And now you can have like an event at your store. You can be the house of Hasho. You can like, it brings this industry back to a time where like you had to make a relationship with somebody. You had to shake a hand, go out for a dinner. Like, I like those days. I like those times.
The good old days.
Yeah. I think it's a super benefit to those that want to stay in like a real craft genre. Like the people that aren't worried about making 5,000 units a month of something. The ones that are like, I'm down with making 500.
Exactly.
You know, and them being the absolute fire, you know?
Yeah.
And only dealing with 11 dispensaries because that's all we can do. And I like that. I like how it's going almost a little bit backwards to a place where it's a bit slower, a bit smaller, and a bit
More authentic.
100%.
Yeah, I feel you.
100%.
And obviously we've come a long way. We've improved in so many ways. But what do you still think like we're lacking in the industry? Like, what do you think we're missing?
Unfair question. It's
A lot?
There's so much.
Oh, that's bad.
It's control, but look, like with everything, as soon as like the here's my overall answer to this every time. As soon as the government feels comfortable relinquishing a little control here and a little control there and a little control here, if you stop looking at it as like we have so far to go and start saying like, look how far we fucking come. If you change that narrative in your head, it looks so much brighter every day.
That's so true.
And it's true. It really is true. Like, look, Flow Through fell apart. Like, they've tried a bunch of stuff that didn't work. Okay. But again, go back to one of the first things I said. Yo, I failed a million times to be here. And if people knew the reality of where here was, they'd know that every day was still like, all right, like you get up and you're like, all right, I'm gonna fight today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight today. You know, I'll give up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll just wait another day to give up.
And I just want to know, this is a random question, but besides obviously Hasho, what is your favorite strain?
Ooh, okay. So your funny story, I don't even like GMO.
Really?
I used to say, when I told my like close circle of friends that I was releasing GMO, they were like, Mr. I hate GMO. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've heard this before. But like this GMO is special. And it was the first time like a GMO as a flower, because I'd always just washed it. I really just smoke a lot of hash. And it was dope. But damn, my favorite strain is it's a strain called Bazooka Joe.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a strain called
What a
Bazooka Joe.
name.
So it's a cherry.
I gotta find that.
Cherry Cough 99 crossed with I forget.
Ooh.
It's a strain from
sounds sick.
California, and
Oh,
it's
shit.
called Bazooka Joe.
Okay, I gotta find that.
It literally tastes like the Bazooka Joe bubblegum,
That's sick.
like the pink bubblegum.
Awesome. And to anybody who might be watching this, because obviously I have a lot of cannabis advocates that follow me, but I also have people who don't know much about cannabis and they're like getting introduced through my page. So to anybody who might be watching that's not sure if they're like really pro cannabis, they're not really sure how to feel about it, what can you tell them about it to like destigmatize it?
At the end of the day, like a person that's going to have a problem or abuse something is going to abuse anything. I know people that are just over consumers. They can't eat one granola bar, they eat 6.
Yes.
They don't order one donut, they order 4. They don't order a small coffee and just drink a cup of coffee. They order an extra large bucket of coffee. They're just consumers. Like it's kind of weird. Like
no, it makes
they
a lot
do
of
it
sense.
with everything.
Yes.
And you'll
they don't
notice
have discipline.
No.
Yeah.
And again, I can say how productive of a stoner I am and how productive of a stoner like everybody around me is. And look at the empires people have built, like 710 Labs, Alien Labs, like all these American companies that started from dudes exactly like me. They were like, yo, fuck it, I'm going to take over the world. And did. Travis.
Yes.
Like
Shout out
Travis
Organic.
put me in a position to change my life. Like I was always Hasho. I'd put myself in the position where a guy like Organic would be like, yo, that dude's special.
Yes.
So that's all on me. Shout out me. But shout out Organic for being like the type of human being who's like, yo, that guy's special. Let's put him on. I'm going to make sure if I ever have a chance, I put that guy in a position to win.
Yes.
And it was years. Like we knew each other years. Like there was never, the Ghostdrops thing kind of came out of nowhere for me too, right? But just shout out people like that.
I love that. Team is so important, especially when you have a solid one.
You can't do what we do.
Take over the world when you have a solid team.
Not do at this level. This is not the street anymore. You can't just have your own back and hit the road with a backpack of weed.
Yeah, it's true. So before we wrap this up, I have one last question.
Hit me.
What are your plans for Ghostdrops and just El Hasho in general?
I have no idea. Straight
Living
up,
day by day.
Straight up, I've never had a plan. When I say I don't know, it's because I really don't. And it's such a small team that everything happens on the fly. So they're just this amazing platform that's going to give a lot of people light. And the amazing thing is like I got to be the first light. I'll probably be another light for them in the path somehow.
Exactly.
But those are my boys, and all they want is to see me and my family and Hasho happy and successful. And they're one of the people that were like, yo, we believe in you so much. For whatever other reason, people couldn't or things didn't work out. And shout out everybody that ever tried. But with Ghostdrops, it was so genuine and so natural, and it happened so naturally. And I think the beauty of that is that I'm going to go off and do Sarah's Soldiers and make hash and collaborate with people. And I'll always be like just a member of that family. Forever and ever and ever, our kids, our wives, everybody will always be connected. And it's so much bigger than a drop or an industry or a plant. It's like it's just beautiful what they did for like my legacy, my family. To see my son's face like when he saw that and he's like, look, Dad, that's you. It's Hasho. Because it's written all over my house. But they changed my life, and that started with Organic, and it started with beautiful people that had faith in beautiful people.
I love that.
So we'll see what happens, but yeah, Sarah Soldiers in 2023 is gonna have like a home, a clothing line. We're gonna take that to another level. And like I said to you before, hopefully one day I get my wish of like I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna sound like the dumbest dream, but I will have like a house or like a place or something near St. Mike's, in St. Mike's, like Hasho's house, and like people that went through what I went through. Instead of having to drive 2-3 hours to a hospital every day, I'm going to pay for you to live there. We'll do a couple families a year, like however it works out. But if your wife has to spend 8 months in the hospital and you have to come from like Orangeville, Shelburne, further, I'm gonna try to have you. Not tomorrow, not in January. I'm sure it's gonna be a long process, but like that's all I want.
That's amazing.
And we're gonna get there. I promise you, we're gonna get there, and weed is gonna get me there.
Yes, you will, and I'm gonna be here to witness it.
100%.
You're gonna do it. We're manifesting it.
When
now.
I do it, I'm coming back to do another podcast.
Fuck yeah, and you better bring your wife. Okay?
I swear to God.
I love that. Goes to show you guys, like the cannabis community goes so much deeper than what meets the eye.
100%.
So thank you so
100%.
much for being here, Hasho. Honestly, that was amazing. You're genuinely such a cool person.
appreciate
love
you.
meeting sick people in this industry.
I appreciate you.
That's why I do what I do. So
You
thank
do it
so
well.
much.
You do it super
Thank
well.
you.
You got
Thank
me
you.
to do like my second podcast ever.
Hey.
Shout out Jameson Wellborn for getting me to do my first.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and I'm glad to have you back with your wife.
Appreciate you.
That's gonna be amazing. Epic.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Jonah. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good shit. Word on the streets, it's BowlzNBeatz. Bye.
You do that without fucking up. That's crazy.
Honestly, in my head,
It's
it
like
just
on
goes blank.
command. That was nuts.
Yeah, I'm a robot. I just press a button.
That was nuts. How did you do that?